wouldn't even be talking about Ryan Garcia right now, to be honest with you. Not at all. If he didn't have that huge ass following, we wouldn't be even talking about this dude right now, man. Seriously. So this is a big fight for his career. Of course, it's a big fight. You know, every fight's a big fight for the champion Barrios, who has worked hard to get in this position. But, you know, if Ryan Garcia don't get this done, man, man, he gonna be right up there with Jake Paul. The same conversation as Jake Paul. Just sorry. You know what I'm saying? You know, it ain't no knock on Barrios. He makes mistakes, and Barrios is a good counterpuncher to make him pay for those mistakes. You know, he has good eyes. I'm pretty sure he can make him pay for a lot of mistakes that he makes, you know, when he's floating in.
Tim Bradley just said this fight could turn Ryan Garcia into boxing's next Jake Paul, and that should scare his fans. Tim Bradley predicts a brutal night for Ryan Garcia against Mario Barrios. He points out key flaws in Ryan's game, believing Barrios' experience, exceptional skill set, and high ring IQ will be too much for him to handle. According to Bradley, Ryan has no clear path to stopping Barrios, while Barrios possesses every tool needed to break him down and secure the win.
You know, with a right hand or something like that, man. I see Ryan having a hard time with just, again, the IQ of Barrios. Say whatever you want to say about him. You know, Barrios is tough. He's gritty. He's solid all the way around. You know, offensively, defensively, he's solid. You know, whereas Ryan Garcia is there's a lot of holes in areas. He's not a good inside fighter. He turns his back on the inside. You know, he stands straight up, you know, a lot of the times. And, you know, he'll go into like somewhat of a, you know, low lead hand, leaving himself wide open for right hands. You know, when he's sometimes when he's in close, he doesn't really have not too many tools at his disposal.
While the world acknowledges Ryan Garcia's speed and power, Tim Bradley believes Mario Barrios has the skill and ring IQ to truly hurt him. In his view, aside from Garcia's fast hands and left hook, there's nothing in his style that can seriously challenge Barrios. Bradley goes further, predicting that Barrios will not only land significant damage, but will ultimately secure a knockout victory, exposing the technical gap in Garcia's game, just as Anthony Joshua once exposed Jake Paul.
I think that Ryan Garcia is not more technical in this fight. I don't think he's more talented with the hand speed and the left hook, but as far as his technical ability, he's not as, I don't say, as savvy as a Barrios. I think Barrios has better fundamentals. I think that Barrios is better, in every department, to be honest with you, besides the speed and the power. That area. But Barrios does have some pop on his shots, and he has some counterpunching ability where I think he can hurt Ryan Garcia. Do I see this fight going a distance? I don't think this fight's going to go to distance. I think there's going to be a knockout in this fight.
At the same time, Tim Bradley notes that Ryan Garcia has certain intangibles that Mario Barrios needs to respect. Highlighting Ryan's strengths, he points out that Garcia has incorporated some shots reminiscent of Oscar De La Hoya, which could pose a real challenge if Barrios becomes too aggressive. Bradley's advice to Mario is clear: avoid reckless aggression and stay mindful of those precision shots to navigate the fight safely.
I can see, Ryan Garcia trying to time that movement, off the jab, flicking the jab out there and then timing him as he drops down and changes levels with a 45, which is a half hook, half uppercut. I would say famously known by Oscar De La Hoya. De La Hoya had that shot, man, that, Ryan Garcia has kind of somewhat, I would say, adopted or trained and learned how to throw that shot. I think that's a dangerous shot in this fight for Barrios and what he has to look out for. But for the most part, we know through, Barrios' history, man, throughout his career, body shots have been something that he hasn't taken well. He hasn't taken body shots well. Right hands he gets hit with, although he is a big right hand puncher. He gets hit with flush right hands, and he gets hit with left hooks as well.
Tim Bradley claims there are mistakes in Ryan Garcia's game that Mario Barrios will be ready to exploit. He highlights the flaws that could give Barrios a significant advantage and predicts that Barrios will make Garcia pay for those errors. While Ryan may show glimpses of Oscar De La Hoya's style, Barrios is fundamentally the better fighter to expose him. If Barrios combines aggression with technical precision, he has all the tools to not only dominate but also secure a knockout victory.
Barrios, you got to be careful coming forward, man, and getting aggressive, because that's when Ryan Garcia is dangerous. When Ryan Garcia is coming forward, he can be dangerous, but he makes mistakes, and Barrios is a good counterpuncher to make him pay for those mistakes. He has good eyes. I'm pretty sure he can make him pay for a lot of mistakes that he makes, when he's floating in. But if Barrios decides to get aggressive, that's when things can get real dangerous for him, man. Because Ryan Garcia knows how to step back and throw that check hook. He knows how to lead with it as well. He knows how to pull with it as well.
Now, Sean Porter has also raised concerns about Ryan Garcia. Many remember his loss to Rolly Romero, and Porter believes Mario Barrios will not come with the same unpredictability, meaning Ryan needs a solid game plan to have a chance. In his view, aside from the power of Garcia's left hook, he will struggle to handle Barrios' strength and skill, step up, and hurt Ryan inside the ring.
It's a lot of intangibles here with this one.
How you see that fight playing out? I mean, because Ryan, he can't punch. Barrios is no punk. He only lost once, to my knowledge, when Tank knocked him out.
It's gonna be interesting.
I'm just saying.
Barrios is not coming with the style that Ryan or that Rolly came. Rolly came moving, very shifty, and I think that really just threw Ryan off. Mario is going to be in front of him. He's going to use his jab. He's going to work behind his jab. He's going to be trying to initiate conversation. To me, that's what leads to like a pretty good boxing match. If Ryan is punching back, if Ryan is, the timing that Ryan has is specifically with that left hook, amazing.
Sean believes this is a fight that demands Ryan Garcia prove his worth and avoid another loss, even if Garcia manages to land a knockout on Mario Barrios. In his view, the threat of Barrios stepping up again makes this fight a significant challenge for Ryan, both strategically and physically.
Amazing. Can he knock out Mario? Mario's going to go down and get up if he gets knocked out. You know what I mean? What happens if Mario drops Ryan? You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of intangibles here with this one.
Which makes it a great fight.
Yeah, it's a really good fight.
Adding to the anticipation, Conor Benn, who is also lined up to face the winner of Mario Barrios versus Ryan Garcia, has delivered a reality check on the matchup. He describes Ryan Garcia as a loose cannon and somewhat unprofessional, someone who could be a liability in the ring. In Benn's view, Garcia's chances are significantly lower against a fighter like Barrios, a proud Mexican warrior who fights for his country and consistently goes beyond expectations.
February 21st, Mario Barrios is defending his belt against Ryan Garcia. I assume you'll be ringside?
I will be ringside, yes.
And what's your take on the fight?
I think Ryan Garcia is great for boxing. I think he's a liability. I think he's a loose cannon. I think he's unpredictable. Could say unprofessional. But ultimately, he's sheer entertainment. Gifted. He's got great hand speed. He's athletic. He's young. So he's good for the sport of boxing, and I would tune in to watch a Ryan Garcia fight. But when you have them qualities mixed with someone who's, has true Mexican blood, fights with heart, fights with pride, and fights for his country, and fights for something more than clicks and views, it's hard to pick who's going to win. Really, you think Ryan should win, and Ryan should win, really. He should. Will he?
Well, he was a massive favorite in his last fight over Rolly. Some people don't even rate Rolly, and Rolly dropped him.
Conor Benn adds his perspective, highlighting how Garcia's previous fight with Rolly Romero stalled his progress. Benn asserts that Ryan was never fully tested in that matchup, yet he showed up in a way that proved challenging. Although he acknowledges Ryan as a competitor, Benn warns that past missteps have caused serious harm, and questions whether proper training this time will be enough.
He's a strong fighter.
Handedly beat him.
Yeah, he's a strong fighter, Rolly. Rolly's a good fighter. But the way Ryan was built and coming off the win that he come off on, you can sort of tell the life that he had been living in between the fights, because it has its toll. And going through what he went through, his whole case and everything that he went through, I understand the pain. And everybody handles it differently. Mine was more public, and the way I handled it with my emotions. Maybe he was just as emotional, but behind closed doors. Maybe he couldn't handle it and, had to party. That was his way of getting out of his... I understand.
The gun-shy version of Ryan Garcia, like the one who faced Rolly Romero, is what many are expecting again. Brian Mendoza predicts that Barrios has all the tools to finish the job. Barrios overall, noting his grit and motivation, while arguing that Garcia is not at that level, which could lead to another loss in his career.
February 21st, your guy Mario Barrios versus Ryan Garcia. Just how do you see this fight going?
I'm obviously a little biased, but I just know, the behind the scenes. I know how locked in Mario is, and Ryan might look like he's pretty focused, so I do expect a good version of him for this fight, but I just don't think he's got that grit like Mario has.
Do you see Mario getting the knockout then, or you think it's going to go to the decisions?
I think if it's maybe even something similar to Ryan's last fight where he gets hurt and kind of shies away, I think Mario will be able to, he's got the range and everything, the jab to come behind it to finish it if he does see Ryan kind of gun shy or anything like that. So I do actually see a mid to late fight kind of stoppage.
Another key factor experts discuss is experience. While some argue that Mario Barrios' experience gives him a strong edge, Wade Plemons completely challenges this notion. If experience were everything, Ryan Garcia would have been outclassed by Devin Haney, which didn't occur. He believes that fight night will hinge not on experience, but on the styles, strategies, and approaches each fighter brings into the ring.
I kind of agree with that. I mean, Devin Haney on paper should have beaten Ryan Garcia to a pulp. Okay, maybe not, because Devin doesn't throw like that, but Devin should have completely outclassed Ryan Garcia the way he did Brian Norman, and it just didn't happen that way that night, because it really isn't necessarily about experience. This idea that experience is the great equalizer in combat sports has kind of gone by the wayside. I've been on the wrong side of predictions based on experience for a long time now. We just kind of saw it, really, in the Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson fight. Who had Shakur fought that was on the level of opponents that Teofimo had fought to that point? The answer is nobody, right? Like, Teofimo had Vasily Lomachenko, had Josh Taylor, had big names, had hard fights on his resume. George Kambosos, whatever you want to say about that fight. Shakur Stevenson had William Zepeda, Edwin De Los Santos. Like, these weren't the best of the best in terms of pro competition, and Shakur showed that shit didn't matter one single bit. Styles made fights, and he went out there and performed and exposed that experience factor isn't as big.
As excitement builds, all attention turns to February 21st. The pressing question, will Ryan Garcia rediscover his best form and reclaim his reputation, or will Mario Barrios prove too strong, leaving Garcia exposed like he was against Rolly Romero? Two scenarios are in play. Will Garcia show up like he did against Devin Haney or Rolly? Wade Plemons believes Garcia's renewed focus, determination to finish the fight, and the pressure on Joe Goossen and Barrios could spark an early, aggressive onslaught, giving fans a confident, potentially fight-ending performance.
There are these moments where Ryan comes out of his shell a little more, and now I'm remembering back the Devin Haney buildup. He was wildin'. That man was like, "Where's your mama at? I want your mama. Where's your mama?" Talking to Devin Haney. But that was personal. That fight was personal for both those guys. Bill Haney was saying his son was going to kill Ryan. It was crazy. But, in the Rolly fight, everything was super laid back. I was there at the press conference watching Ryan just kind of more be so, locked in on Devin and maybe overlooking Rolly. He can't make that mistake here. And it doesn't look like he has. It doesn't look like he's overlooked Mario Barrios. He absolutely believes he's going to knock Mario Barrios out. And that kind of confidence is what you want to see. This is kind of the old Ryan. A little bit more, I would say, subdued, obviously, than the Devin Haney fight. But in his early career, he was a subdued guy. The trash talk started coming out more with the Gervonta Davis fight and even the Oscar Duarte fight. He was talking trash to Oscar.
Meanwhile, Tim Bradley delivers a sobering reality check for Ryan Garcia, warning that his fight with Mario Barrios won't be easy, reflecting on Garcia's struggles against Rolly Romero, emphasizing Barrios' experience and proven ability inside the ring, questions whether Garcia has the skill, composure, and strategy required to overcome such a seasoned and relentless opponent.
A guy like Garcia, his last performance wasn't that great. I expect him to have a better performance this time around. He gonna need to have a better performance, because if he brings that type of performance into the ring with Barrios is gonna eat him up. It's gonna be easy work. He gonna eat him up, man. But see, this is the thing, man. I noticed one thing about Garcia. Garcia don't like power. Now, does Barrios has enough pop on his shots to keep Garcia honest? That's what I worry about, right? And if Garcia land that left hook, can Barrios take it? Because that seemed to be an issue for Barrios. Upstairs and downstairs, the left hook. So, interesting fight. It ain't no foregone conclusion, like I said, that Garcia just gonna walk through a guy like Barrios. Barrios got a lot of experience.
Ryan Garcia's flaws are now under the spotlight, with Andre Durrell offering his perspective. Durrell argues that despite possessing multiple skills, Garcia lacks the ring IQ to use them effectively. He explains that Ryan often abandons a strategic game plan, prioritizing volume punching over disciplined execution. Reflecting on his bout with Gervonta "Tank" Davis, Durrell highlights mistakes that have previously cost Garcia and warns these same errors could create serious problems when facing a calculated and skilled opponent like Mario Barrios.
As far as I'm concerned, Ryan Garcia has no ring IQ. Listen, man, when it comes to Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios, I'm conflicted. Yes, Ryan has the skill set, he has the power, he has the speed, and he has the boxing ability. However, his problem is he don't know how to put them together. I don't see Ryan Garcia jumping in the ring and executing a game plan. I see him executing punches. Look back at Garcia versus Tank.
There's that left hook.
Ryan Garcia threw 3 hooks back to back.
Again, as Tank stays just low enough.
So it's only common sense that Tank rolls under the hook and come back with his own.
Durrell explains that in fights against Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Rolly Romero, Ryan Garcia has often abandoned his game plan. At the same time, he acknowledges that Mario Barrios has areas that aren't fully polished yet. Still, Durrell stresses that Barrios has a strong foundation, and if he enters the ring with a solid strategy and executes it properly, he could come out on top. Conversely, if Ryan shows up stronger and sharper, it could create serious challenges for Barrios.
Game over. Then there's Garcia versus Rolly.
Ryan Garcia, that last fight against them.
I ain't gonna even get into that one. You can tell that boy didn't have a game plan. Now, when it comes to Mario Barrios,
Mama, I love you. P.O.P.
He doesn't have the oomph to take it to the next level, I feel like he fights at a pace.
I'm gonna show you how great I am. Great I am. Great I am.
But at least he has a foundation. At least he has a game plan. Now, if he gets into this fight and Ryan is too strong or too fast, then he's in trouble. This is me telling y'all anything can happen. I feel like because Mario Barrios has a foundation, has a base, and has a game plan, he can go in there and win this fight.
While Ryan Garcia's loss to Rolly Romero remains memorable, Andre Durrell also points out Mario Barrios' past struggles, including his inability to defeat a 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao, but Barrios' missed opportunities that revealed his limitations. Considering this, he believes Garcia faces a challenging task. With his speed, power, and skill, Ryan still has a chance to win, but achieving victory over Barrios will be far more difficult than many anticipate.
But Ryan Garcia having the power, the speed, and the skills to get the job done, maybe he will too. When I look at Barrios versus Pacquiao,
everything on the orange.
Pacquiao had no oomph. He had nothing left.
Confidence for him to come in. More confident. And that means that Manny Pacquiao will start to open up.
But Barrios couldn't take it to that next level. So it's up to Ryan Garcia to get in there and crack the code, take away that WBC world title. Man, y'all tell me what y'all think y'all have in the comments, man. I'll talk to y'all in a minute. Peace.
And here we are. Tim Bradley hasn't held back, saying, Ryan Garcia ends like Jake Paul. That's a bold prediction, and it really makes you stop and think. Does Garcia have what it takes to handle a fighter like Mario Barrios? Or is he heading for another career-defining loss? We'd love to hear what you think. Will Ryan prove the doubters wrong, or will Barrios dominate? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for more fight breakdowns.